Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be going over is the American League games in action from yesterday. After that, we'll be moving into the Oakland A's and their recent winning streak. Then we'll be going over the National League and moving into Shota Imanaga and his recent tear that he has been on with the Chicago Cubs and the great start he has. Now, before we do all that, I would like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read on the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into the show today. All right, so as I said, we are going to be starting off with the American League games of yesterday and just all the action that came with it. So, yeah, I'm going to get straight into it. So, the first game we have on the agenda is going to be Guardians and Astros. Again, a really exciting series so far. Estevan Florial and the Guardians offense was great yesterday, but they were no match for the Astros as they hit a walk-off. But Guardians looking to get some revenge here. Top of the fifth, Will Brennan would open up the scoring in the game with a solo shot, his fourth of the year, to make it 1-0 Cleveland. And Stephen Kwan with an RBI triple to score Brian Roquicchio to make it 2-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the sixth, Jose Altuve would get a run on the board for Houston, making it 2-1 with an RBI single. And in the bottom of the 10th, Kyle Tucker would hit a solo home run to make it 2-2. Now, scoring will not happen until extra innings now, so two back-to-back games of extra innings with this very exciting series, as the Guardians would end up winning the game with an RBI double by Stephen Kwan to make it 3-2 in the top of the 10th, and the Astros, of course, would not score after that, and they would end up losing this game to Cleveland 3-2. Now, great job by Cleveland. Had a tough loss the last game, so nice job for them to rebound and continue their winning ways of the season. For the Guardians, they did have on the mound Tristan McKenzie, who was phenomenal. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 run runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Now, McKenzie has been up and down so far. He was a really great pitcher a few years ago, but had some injuries this year and last year and has not been as good. But starts like that remind you of who he could be and just his overall potential. The Astros had on the mound Justin Verlander, who went 7 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 2 run runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Now pitching in 3 games since his injury, has a 2.08 ERA, and it's just going back to Justin Verlander. I mean, of course, we've known about his injuries and all that, but he still is Justin Verlander, and he's been having great starts, and he's been doing a great job, and he's been helping the Astros rotation a lot, which has dealt with a lot of injuries, so good for him. Next game we have is going to be Tigers and Cardinals. Scoring would open up for this game in the bottom of the second with a Colt Keith RBI double to make it 1-0 Detroit, scoring Matt Vierling. Going to the bottom of the third now, Matt Vierling would hit a 2-run home run to make it 3-0 Detroit and get them up early, but Wilson Contreras would get a run back for St. Louis as he would make it 3-1 with a solo home run. Bottom of the 8th, Matt Vierling again would come in clutch with a sacrifice fly to make it 4-1 Detroit, and that is how they would end up winning this game. So really strong ground by Vierling there. It's just a really quality bat and had a good game there for Detroit. Detroit had on the mound Kenta Maeda, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Has been up and down since signing with Detroit, but that was a really quality start there against a really quality offense. So good for him, and hopefully Tigers fans will see more of that in the future. For the Cardinals, they have on the mound Miles Michaelis, who went 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, a 5.68 ERA on the season. Now, not a great start there by Michaelis. It wasn't horrible, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, but still a 5.68 ERA in the season. Not really what you want. Not exactly what you want to see for a guy like Michaelis for the Cardinals, who rely on their starting pitching so much now. So, yeah, definitely like to see more for that. Next game we have is going to be Twins and White Sox, in continuation of this AL Central series. Scoring would open up in the bottom of the first with a Tommy Pham RBI double to make 1-0 Chicago. I mean, Tommy Pham has just been incredible since coming there. I don't know why he wasn't signed during the offseason, and I think teams are learning to regret that decision now. I think he's a really quality bat, and I, again, just don't know why he was out there for so long. Andrew Vaughn had an RBI single in the same inning to make it 2-0. So really nice job by Chicago to get up front early. Top of the third, Christian Vasquez would hit an RBI ground out to make it 2-1. And in the bottom of the third, Tommy Pham would hit his first home run as a Chicago White Sox to make it 3-1, getting the runs right back. So Pham has just been a spark plug for this Chicago team in offense and just doing a great job. Top 5, Alex Kirilloff would hit a solo home run to make it 3-2, his second of the year to get the Twins within run. But Robbie Grossman in the bottom of the fifth would get the run right back for Chicago, hitting an RBI double to make it 4-2. Top of the sixth, Willie Castro would reach on a fielding error by Paul DeJong, which would score Max Kepler and Trevor Larnach to make it 4-4. A critical error by Paul DeJong there in the White Sox to get Minnesota back to tying up the game 4-4. Top of the seventh, Max Kepler would hit an RBI single to take the lead from Minnesota, making it 5-4. A Jose Miranda 2 RBI single would make it 6-4. Corey Lee would hit a solo shot to make it 6-5 to get the White Sox within a run, but the Twins would run away with it after that with a Jose Miranda RBI double to make it 7-5, a Ryan Jeffers RBI double to make it 9-5, and a Willie Castro RBI single to make it 10-5 Minnesota, as they would end up winning this game at that score. So really solid job there. Really nice win for the Twins to be able to come back and win this game. White Sox had on the mound Chris Flexen, who went 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not the best start, not exactly what you want to see. The Twins had on the mound Bailey Ober, who also just was okay. 6 innings pitched, 4 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Again, nice job going for 6 innings, but not really the earned run amount you want to see. Definitely not great. So the next game we have here is going to be about the Royals and the Blue Jays. So for this, scoring would open up in the top of the sixth with a Bobby Witt Jr. RBI single to make it 1-0 Kansas City. Salvador Perez would hit an RBI single as well to make it 2-0, and a Michael Massey groundout would make it 3-0. Kansas City all in the top of the sixth. Toronto would get a run back with a Danny Jansen solo home run, his third of the year, but Kansas City would run away with it after that with a Michael Massey 3-run home run, his second of the year, to make it 6-1 Kansas City and end up winning this game for them. So the Royals had on the mound Seth Lugo, who was again phenomenal. Honestly might be an early Cy Young candidate. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Just other than that solo home run to Danny Jansen was absolutely phenomenal in lockdown. Blue Jays, they have on the mound Chris Bassett, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Hasn't had the best season so far, but a start like that is just okay and not too horrible. But Kansas City, man, I mean, their rotation is really, really carrying them. They're a good team, but their rotation is absolutely phenomenal, and I don't think they'll be stopping anytime soon. So definitely watching them. Next game we have is going to be Yankees and Orioles. So for this game, the scoring would open up in the top of the fifth with a Oswaldo Cabrera 2-run home run to make it 2-0 New York. And guess what? That'll be the entire scoring of the game, 2-0 New York. So yeah, pretty unexciting game, but nice win by New York to defeat their division rival Orioles, who, as we've said multiple times now, are kind of on the same level as them. I mean, 20-12 for the Yankees and 19-11 for Baltimore, just a 1-game difference. They're as even as it can get. So, both teams are getting reinforcements. Yankees are getting Cole back in a few months, most likely. Orioles getting Kyle Bradish back soon, so that should be good for both teams, and we'll just see this rivalry grow even more. The Orioles did have on the mound Corbin Burns, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Really, really strong start there. Again, has just been such a great ace, and we talked about Seth Lugo before as a Cy Young candidate. I think Corbin Burns in that conversation as well has been a great trade for Baltimore, and it's really solidified that rotation. For the Yankees, they had on the mound Luis Gil, who went 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, 3.19 ERA on the season. He has such great stuff over his career, and when he learns to control his walks like he did in this game, he's going to be a deadly starting pitcher, a guy who's really going to make noise in this league. And yeah, he has been really great for the Yankees so far, a really quality arm, and good job for him. I mean, just was kind of in flux with his career, but figured out what to do to get himself back in there, make himself a real arm in that rotation for the Yankees, and has done just that and has been really, really solid, so props to him. Next game we have is going to be Red Sox and Giants. Scoring for this game would open up in the top of the third with a Tom Murphy solo home run to make it 1-0 San Francisco. Bottom of the third, Rafi Devers would tie it up for Boston, making it 1-1 with an RBI double, and Rob Refsnyder RBI groundout would make it 2-1 Boston. A Mike Yastrzemski RBI single would make it 2-2 San Francisco, hitting that RBI against his grandfather's former team. Of course, Carl, one of the greatest players of all time. Bottom of the fourth, Emmanuel Valdez would hit an RBI double to make it 3-2 Boston, and a Jarren Duran RBI triple would make it 4-2. A Dom Smith RBI single in his first game as a Red Sox would make it 5-2. He did get traded there to Boston. I think it was a nice fill-in for the first base position right now. They haven't had the best production there after Tristan Casas got hurt, so I really like this move. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I did enjoy the move, and good job there by getting an RBI in his first game. Bottom of the 7th, Connor Wong was just add on for the Red Sox in their lead, hitting an RBI double to score Wilyer Abreu to make it 6-2 Boston, and they would end up winning the game there. So quality win by the Red Sox. They had on the mound Cutter Crawford, who was phenomenal. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 1.59 ERA in the season. Really, really great start. Really good job. The Giants had on the mound a opener. The opener was Eric Miller, one of their relievers. He went 1 inning pitched, no earned runs. Mainly really no bulk guys, but the guy who really blew the lead was Dalton Jeffries, who now has a 17.36 ERA in 4 2/3 innings pitched. Not exactly what you're looking for. Mitch White was also more of a bulk guy in this game, going 2 innings, recently acquired by the Giants, so only got 1 run, it's a solid job there, but, an opener for the Giants, so not much to talk about for the starting pitching. The last game we are going to be talking about is going to be A's and Pirates. So scoring would open up for this game in the bottom of the 2nd with a Abraham Toro solo home run to make a 1-0 Oakland. Then in the bottom of the 3rd, Tyler Nevin would hit a solo shot himself to make it 2-0. Bottom of the 5th, Abraham Toro would again reach, this time on a fielding error by O'Neal Cruz to make it 3-0, scoring Tyler Nevin. And Cal McCann would hit an RBI single to score Esther Ruiz to make it 4-0 Oakland. McCann has been off to a really hot start with the A's since being called up. Pirates had on the mound Quinn Priester, who went 6 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3.31 ERA in the season. The A's had on the mound Ross Stripling, who went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, 4.24 ERA on the season. Now the A's have been doing really well so far. I mean, they're 6-1 in their last 7. They've got a lot going for them right now. A lot of their players are overperforming expectations, doing really well. And it's a good way to go into my next segment, which is about the A's and their surprising season. I mean, as I've said, they've won 6 of their last 7. And yeah, I just thought it was really interesting, and it was something I wanted to talk about. So yeah, we're going into talking about the A's surprising season next, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment, which is going to be talking about the Oakland A's and their surprising season so far. Now, before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into our show for today. All right, as we've been talking about, we are going to be going over the Oakland A's and the surprising season. I thought it was a nice little transition there to go from the American League games to the A's and just what's going on with them. So the A's right now, as I'm putting it, it's the A's resurgence. They're 6-1 over their last 7, and not only are they 6-1 in their last 7, they've beaten quality teams. They've beaten the Yankees, who we know of as one of the 5 best teams in baseball. They've beaten the Orioles, who are in the same boat as the Yankees, one of the best 5 teams in baseball. They've also beaten the Pirates, who have been a very quality team this year. a team that has surprised a lot of people and just been very good. So when you look at the A's right now, you may think, okay, look, they're just getting lucky. There's not really much going on there. They're 15 and 17. That's still not great. Yes, you're right. It's not great for any other team but the A's. For the A's, 15 and 7 is like being 162. A lot of people, not including myself, but a lot of people, had the A's pegged as the worst team in baseball history. I thought they were one of the worst, not the worst, but I did think they were one of the worst. I still think they are roster-wise, but when you take that into consideration from what people expected them preseason, all the shenanigans going on with their organization, moving around, fans boycotting the team, having like 1,000 people at opening day, the ownership being a mess, just everything not working out for this organization. The fact that this team has been able to stay 15 and 17, played some really quality ball games, have a lot of good players on this team is very noble. I mean, they have a lot of good pieces right now. They don't seem to be going away that much. I think there's a lot of quality things here to like about this team. So if I'm an A's fan, I'd be really excited. You know, going over this team right now, first of all, you have Tyler Nevin, guy you picked off of waivers, who has been really great since coming to Oakland. This Scat's been really solid and a key part of the middle of your lineup. Is he going to stay like this? I'm not exactly sure. I think he's a quality player, but I don't know if he's as quality as he's playing right now. You have Esther Ruiz, who surprisingly was sent down after having an amazing season last year, has been great so far, not only with the glove and on the base pass, but with the bat as well, which is a great part. Abraham Toro has been very great, has been very solid since coming over to Oakland. Brent Rooker, since going back to last year as well, has been a very quality DH. I'm surprised no one tried to trade for him. J.J. Bleday was a guy who was looked at as a big bust coming out of Miami. You know, was the third overall pick, was traded for not much, and A.J. Puck. Puck has become a quality pitcher for the Marlins, who's part of that pitching depth, but taking into consideration how big of a prospect Bleday was, how high people were on him, I was very high on him. I thought he was going to be a great left-handed power bat, but it just didn't work out in Miami. Was a bust, got traded to Oakland for, again, kind of scraps for what we thought he could have got a few years ago. He's playing really well now in Oakland as well. So the A's have a lot of good pieces. They have a lot of players outperforming and doing well, and that's just the start of it. I mean, for the bullpen, they have arguably the best 8-9 in the league. You have Lucas Urqueg, who has come out of nowhere and been a very quality pitcher. 14 innings on the season now, has multiple holds, has been a very, very great bullpen arm for this A's team. He's been a guy that really has solidified this roster, so he's been really great there. And of course, for the closer, I mean, you have Mason Miller, who was a former starting pitching prospect, pretty high one as well, a guy who A's fans might have looked at as not an ace of the future, but a really quality pitcher of the future, a guy who is going to be in the future of the A's organization. And he's had to transform into a closer for this year because of an elbow injury. They wanted to limit his innings, but also have him pitch and get him real opportunities, which was the way they got him to be a closer, kind of, both. And he's been really great as well. I mean, he's been great, throwing 100, 101, 102 consistently. His secondary pitches haven't been bad as well, and when you're a closer, you don't need as great of secondary pitches. They help a lot, yes, but Mason Miller can just throw his fastball in there for 3 batters, get him out, and retire the side and win the game for the A's. So Mason Miller has been outstanding. I think it's going to be a really tough decision for the A's to say, you know what, are we moving this elite closer back to a starting pitcher? Now, I would personally say yes. I do think they should, but I understand that there probably is going to be some hang-up there, but you'll have to see. So the bullpen has been amazing as well, which is a great addition. Now, the only problem I do see with the A's right now is their starting pitching. It has not been great. Ross Stripling and Alex Wood, 2 guys who came over in separate trades from the same team, the Giants, have not been great. We're expected to be veteran arms that could solidify that A's rotation, maybe bring a little bit of leadership to that rotation, to that clubhouse, and they have just not been good. You're kind of seeing now why the Giants traded them. You have Joe Boyle, who a lot of people are expecting to break out after seeing some quality starts in there from last year, quality stuff as well. Just a lot of stuff to be happy about if you were a A's fan with Joe Boyle, but he has not been great either. His underlying stats do show a little bit that he has gotten unlucky, but it's not to an extreme sense where he's just getting super unlucky and he's going to be an ace after this. No, he's been unlucky, but not as unlucky. But you do have J.P. Sears, who, while he hasn't been great this season, kind of in the same boat as Boyle, there is some underlying statistics there that could show he's getting a little unlucky. And even without the stats, I still like Sears a lot. I think he has really good stuff. I think he's going to be a quality pitcher. I've been a fan of him since he was a prospect back with the Yankees. I think that overall J.P. Sears is going to be a big part of the A's future. I think he is going to be a big part of their future rotation. I think there's a lot to like there if you are an A's fan with him. So, yeah, I'm definitely watching him. And then the big guy, of course, is their ace, Paul Blackburn. Paul Blackburn is just an extraordinary pitcher. Was an all-star for them last year, was their best pitcher by far, was a guy who was absolutely great. I mean, he's been really, really good. He's been really, really great for them, and I think that there's a lot to like if you're an A's fan with Paul Blackburn. He's probably going to be traded at the trade deadline. Won't sugarcoat that. I mean, yes, the A's are doing well, but they're not. I don't think anyone in their right mind expects the A's to do this well for the rest of the season. Maybe not as horrible as we expected, but not as good as they're doing right now, and not almost 500. That's kind of crazy. So I do think Paul Blackburn is going to be traded at the deadline. I think there are going to be a lot of teams bidding for his services. There's so many teams that need a good quality starting pitcher, and I think Blackburn is going to get a lot. I think there could be a potentially big haul for him. So many teams I think about that need pitching, and it isn't the best trade deadline we've ever seen. So I think Blackburn could be one of the more sought-after guys, a guy that, again, is going to go for a lot on the market, is going to be a significant armed out, so that could be something there. But let's say he does stay. Let's say he does become a really quality starting pitcher. But stays a really quality starting pitcher for the A's, and the A's decide, we don't want to trade him. We think we're close to contention. We want something for the new Vegas and Sacramento fans to watch this season's going past this. We want to keep Blackburn. We want to make him part of our core, which is also possible as well. So I think for the first time in a little bit, there are building blocks for this A's organization. All the guys I've mentioned. Shea Langelier is another guy who's great this year. Might be struggling a little bit, but I still have faith in him that he could potentially be a really good player. There are some prospects as well. Jacob Miller, a guy he just drafted. Max Muncy, not the guy from the Dodgers. Their own guy, their own prospect. He's another guy that potentially could be a big piece of the A's future and is going to be someone to watch if you are an Oakland, Sacramento, or Vegas fan. So that's another thing there. I did mention Jacob Wilson. Like I said, he's a really great prospect for them as well. But also Luis Morales, who's a quality starting pitcher prospect. Denzel Clark is a guy I like. As I said, Max Muncy, the third of the Naylor twins. Miles Naylor, who also is quality, I believe. Freddie Tarnock, who they got in the Sean Murphy trade, I think he's going to be really quality as well. Gunnar Hoagland, who has fallen down a little bit in the prospect rankings for them, but I still think could be a quality arm for them in the future. So, yeah, I think that overall, I think that they are going to be a really quality. They are going to have a lot of quality players coming up soon. I think that they have a little bit of a core brewing, and that's not something a lot of people expected. They have a lot of good things going for them right now. Their bullpen is great. They have a lot of quality position players that no one really expected. So we'll be watching them. Overall, my thoughts on the A's are that I think I underestimated them, and I think a lot of people underestimated them as well. I think that there is a significant amount of things going well for them and a significant amount of things that are going to continue going well for them. Things that are quality and we might have overlooked. But at the same time, do I think they're going to continue with this? No, I don't. Do I think they're going to end up finishing third in the AL West? No, I don't. Do I think they're going to finish last? I do. But I don't think they're going to be as horrible as we expected. I mean, a lot of people expect them to have 40, 45 wins. Maybe they'll get 60 now, 65, maybe even 70. There's a lot going right for the A's right now, and while I do think that eventually they are going to, quote, come back down to earth, I think that there is some some quality things here to look at if you are an A's fan, some things to assess and say, you know what, it isn't all bad. From the baseball side, we have a lot of core going for us. 6-1 in our last 7, beating some quality opponents like the Yankees, like the Orioles. So if I'm an A's fan, I'd be happy with the baseball stuff right now. I mean, it's unfortunate that they are doing so well and we cannot focus on the team on the field because we have to focus what's going on off of it. Taking a team away from a historic baseball town in Oakland, I don't like the decision. I understand that the fans weren't showing up and, the ownership and all that, but the ownership, didn't do a great job attracting fans there. They didn't do a good job spending money, getting fans excited about the team, and the A's fans saw how bad the ownership was. They protested. They didn't go to many games. You see the A's fan base to all come together. When they do all come together, they're a really great bunch. They've done it for playoff games in the past with the Oakland Drum. They came together last year for the reverse protest where they all showed up for the game instead of not showing up for the game to show them we are still a fan base. We are still really quality, and this is what you're taking away from us. So it is unfortunate that they are taking the A's away from Oakland. I do think it is a travesty. I think it is something that should not have happened, but going on the field right now, the legacy of the A's is still going to go on. I know I'll probably still call them the A's for a few years. I'm not sure if they're going to continue being called the A's. Obviously, they won't be called Oakland. I don't know next year if they're going to be called Oakland or Sacramento, but we'll be seeing about that. I mean, Sacramento and Oakland are pretty close to each other anyways, so I don't think it's a significant dilemma that you're going to have to decide. So, yeah, I mean, we'll be watching the A's in the future now, but I don't think the A's franchise is as bleak as people thought now. I think there are some quality pieces here, some quality players that could potentially be moving this team in the right direction and this franchise in the right direction, and I'm excited to watch them. I'm excited to see what does happen and overall the season that they're going to have. So, yeah, that's my piece on the A's, just talking about them and their surprising season. 6-1 in their last 7. Again, I think that they are a better team than we expected, but still not a great team. So not a team that is probably going to finish above last in that AL West. But hey, if the Astros sell off at the deadline and continue having no pitching like this, maybe we'll see them finish even 4th. The Angels really fall down after that Trout injury. Maybe we'll even see them stay at 3rd. But we'll have to see. They're going to be an interesting team and franchise to watch, and I'm really excited to see. So that was my segment on the A's. My segment 2, we'll be going to our 3rd segment, which is talking about the National League games of yesterday and just all the action that happened there. And then after that, we're going to our 4th segment, which is related to it. So yeah, stick around and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, Sam. Bye.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We're moving into our 3rd segment of the day today, which is going to be talking about the National League games of yesterday and just all the action that came with it. We recapped the American League and then talked about an anecdote from one of those teams. So yeah, only fitting to go over the American League and just what's going on there. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first game we have is going to be Rays and Brewers. The scoring would open up for this game with a William Contreras RBI double to make it 2-0 Milwaukee. He would score Bryce Terang and Oliver Dunn. Bottom of the 6th, Willie Adames would hit a solo home run to make it 3-0 Milwaukee. Again, doing a great job against his former team. You can see the emotion. You can see how much he wants to prove them wrong. So that's really cool to see. His 5th home run of the year. Blake Perkins in the bottom of the 7th would make it 4-0 with his 4th double of the year to score Oliver Dunn. And then Willie Adames again would come in clutch against his former team, making it 7-0 with a 3-run home run. What a great job by Willie Adames, showing the Rays, maybe shouldn't have traded me. To be fair to the Rays, I don't think he would have been good. Past. What I'm trying to say is I don't think he would have been good in Tampa Bay. I think that with the stadium and him saying basically I couldn't see there, I think it was time to move on. But overall, it still is cool for Willie Adames to be able to do this against his former team and kind of, give it back to him. Top of the 8th, a wild pitch by Abner Uribe would score Richie Palacios to make it 7-1 Milwaukee, but that would just be delaying the inevitable as the Brewers would end up winning 7-1. They had on the mound Colin Ray, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Really quality start there for a guy who hasn't had the best season, so that's only encouraging to see if you are a Brewers fan. For the Rays, they had on the mound Zach Eflin. He went 5 2/3 innings pitched, giving them 6 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and a 4.17 ERA. Really quality start there by Zach Eflin. Just been so good since coming to Tampa last year. Really, really great pitcher. The next game we have is going to be Braves and Mariners. Scoring would open up for this game in the top of the 3rd with Marcell Ozuna walking with the bases loaded to make it 1-0. A Ronald Acuna Jr. RBI single would make it 2-0 Atlanta, and an Austin Riley triple would make it 4-0, and a Matt Olson RBI single would make it 5-0 Atlanta. So nice job in the top of the 4th to kind of blow the game open and get such a big lead for their team. Bottom of the 5th, Jorge Polanco would hit an RBI single to score Sebi Zavala to make it 5-1, and a Jorge Polanco RBI single again would make it 5-2. But Atlanta would end up winning this game 5-2, would not let up a run after that, and would be a quality win for them. They had on the mound Chris Sale, who went 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, an earned run, no walks, 9 strikeouts, 3.44 ERA on the season. The Mariners had on the mound Emerson Hancock, who went 3 2/3 innings pitched, giving them 5 hits, 5 runs, only 1 earned, so that's interesting. 4 walks, no strikeouts, so kind of an interesting start there. You don't really know if you can blame him or not, but still not the best, I guess, letting up all those base runners as well. So not the greatest one, but not horrible. But a good win by the Braves there against a quality opponent in the Mariners. It's a nice job there. Next game we would have is the Phillies and Angels series. Been a really quality series so far, with some good baseball being played. So excited to see some more of it. In the top of the 2nd, Kyle Schwarber would hit an RBI single to make it 2-0 Philly. And in the bottom of the 2nd, Eri Adrianza would make it 2-1 with a solo shot to get the Angels on the board. Unfortunately for the Angels, that would be it, as they would end up losing this game 2-1. So after the 2nd, there will be no scoring in this entire game, mainly a pitching duel, and just no action at all. The Phillies had on the mound Zach Wheeler, who went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Only 1 home run, of course. That was where the 1 was given up. So would have expected him to go a little longer with this kind of outing, but I guess ran his pitch count up, and Rob Thompson wanted to be safe than sorry. So that's a quality thing there, I guess. For the Angels, they had on the mound Patrick Sandoval, who went 5 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, 5.91 ERA on the season. 10 strikeouts is really incredible. 2 earned runs over 5 is also something that's quality against this Phillies offense, of course, only in 1 inning as well. So really good start there by Sandoval. Hasn't had the best season, but I think with starts like this, you're reminded of his potential and the ways that he can be a quality starting pitcher for the Angels in the future. Next game we have is going to be Padres and Reds. Scoring would open up for this game in the top of the 1st with a Spencer Steer solo home run to make it 1-0 Cincinnati. The bottom of the 4th, Jurickson Profar would come in clutch again for San Diego, making it 2-1 with an RBI single. Profar has just been outstanding since going back to San Diego. A guy who was lingering on the free agent market for a long time. It seemed like nobody wanted to pick him up out of the free agent pool, but the Padres said, we'll take you back. We need some outfield depth. We'll see what you got. And boy, has he been incredible. Just an incredible season so far. I keep saying that word, but it's true. I don't know where this came from, but Profar has been really just outstanding. Top of the fifth, Heimer Candelario would hit an RBI single to tie up the game for Cincinnati, making it 2-2. But in the bottom of the seventh, a Jake Cronenworth grand slam would make it 6-2 San Diego, which would suck all the momentum out of Cincinnati and end up winning San Diego this game 6-2. Really, really great job by Jake Cronenworth there. Grand slam. Is having a really good season. Last year was kind of a setback, was involved in a lot of rumors this offseason involving trades after just signing a 7-year extension. He might have took that personally, and he's been doing really, really well. So props to him, and good job for the Padres getting another great bat in that lineup like they needed anymore. The Reds had on the mound Graham Ashcraft, who went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, none earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a 3.83 ERA on the season. Really quality start there. The Padres had on the mound Joe Musgrove, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts, 6.37 ERA in the season now. Again, had a really horrible start to the year, but has been having some good starts in the past now, and good starts this season, I should say, and trying to erase that number. I mean, he still is a really quality pitcher and a guy who's at the top of his league, so yeah, not going to really judge him too much there. I think he's, again, really a quality option for the Padres, so good for him. Next game we have is going to be Rockies and Marlins. Scoring would open up for this game in the bottom of the fifth with a Luis Arias RBI single to make it 1-0, and a Brian De La Cruz RBI double to make it 2-0. Top of the sixth, Elias Diaz would make it 2-1, but that would be it for the Rockies, as Dean Myers would hit an RBI single for Miami to make it 4-1, and they would end up winning the game at that score. So nice job of the Marlins to bounce back after that humiliating loss yesterday, giving up that big lead. So good job there, and nice win for them. They had on the mound Rodri Munoz, who is one of their younger pitchers. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Just a really great start there. Was a guy I think recently just got called up. With all the pitching injuries the Marlins have had, I think it was a nice job to have Munoz come up, have him pitch you a quality start, and be really good. So, I mean, the Marlins are known as a pitching factory, and it's continuing. So, just so many great pitchers in this team, and they know how to develop pitch in that organization. We've seen that time and time again, so props to them. Rockies had on the mound Dakota Hudson, who went 5 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 5.93 ERA in the season. An okay start there, not great, but not horrible. I mean, you like him to go deeper into games. 5 2/3, 2 earned run isn't bad, but you are playing the Marlins offense, so not to be able to go deeper is a little bit unfortunate. So you definitely want to see that. Next game we have is going to be Dodgers and Diamondbacks, a continuation of the B series. Obviously had all the Bs behind home plate in a colony after the game yesterday when it was in a 2-hour delay. So seeing how these teams can bounce back from that. Top of the second, Andy Pages would hit a 2-run home run, his third of the year, to make it 2-0 LA. Austin Barnes with an RBI double to make it 3-0. A Mookie Betts RBI single would make it 5-0. Moving into the top of the third, a Will Smith solo shot would make it 6-0 LA. A Miguel Rojas walk would make it 7-0 LA, and a Chris Taylor walk would make it 8-0 LA. So, really good job by the Dodgers to just make the game all about them and end up winning this game 8-0. Yeah, the Diamondbacks would score no runs, would get 7 hits, had some opportunities to score some runs, but just never really came in clutch and never were able to capitalize. So, good job of the Dodgers pitching, I guess, to kind of skate that off. They had Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound, who went 6 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, with a 2.91 ERA in the season. I mean, Yamamoto has been just outstanding. A 2.91 ERA with all the pressure on him, with all the things people are talking about. He's a bust, all this and that. Had a horrible start to the year as well, which didn't start him. But if you obviously this is kind of a interesting statement to say, considering you could just say you could do this with every single player. But you take out Yamamoto's first start in the MLB in career, where he got blown up, he'd have one of the best ERAs in MLB. And even if you don't take that out, he still has a 2.91 ERA, a more than quality ERA for a player who is as young as him, as new to the league as him, with as much expectations as he does have. So I think you're looking at Yamamoto, you see a future ace, you see a guy who is going to help solidify that Dodgers rotation from now on. as a great pitcher. So, yeah, he's been really, really great and has been everything the Dodgers have asked for so far. So, I was very high on him. I never give up on him, and being rewarded right now, he's been really, really good. Diamondbacks had on the mound Jordan Montgomery, who did get a start pushed back one day after the big incident, who went 3 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, a strikeout, 2 home runs, 5.63 ERA in the season. Not exactly what you want, but I'll give him a little bit of the benefit. I'll give him a little slack here. He was delayed after yesterday's game when his arm was already kind of awkward to, as a pitcher, to go from one day, your schedule, to the next day. So I'll give him a little bit of credit here that, he got dealt a bad hand. But also you're playing the Dodgers offense, which is obviously pretty great. I mean, Andy Pages has been incredible since coming up. Has really just added a spark to that Dodgers offense. They really, really needed it. So, good for him and good for the Dodgers, finally living up to their potential with all the stars they have. So, that's nice there. The last game we have on the mound is a very boring game, as in the top of the 5th, Pico Armstrong would hit sacrifice fly to score Matt Mervis to make it 1-0 Chicago, and that would be the entire score of the game. The Mets would score no runs. The Cubs would only score 1. Now it would be interesting, as in the top of the 9th, bottom of the 9th, you would have a very controversial play. Hector Neris would come in the game. He would first get Joey Wendell out, then hit Pete Alonso with a pitch. JD Martinez would double to make it 1-0. Obviously it was 1-0 Chicago, to put Mets runners on second and third with 1 out. You had Jeff McNeil at the plate. He flied out to Ian Happ in left field. Pete Alonso would tag up, and he would be gunned down at the plate to end the game, as the Mets would end up losing on a fly-out double play. Just a shock coming back to reality. Now, the thing was, a lot of people don't think Pete was out. They think that the catcher of the Cubs was blocking the plate, which would automatically make him safe with the new rule changes. Now, a lot of Mets fans do agree with this. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I'm not a rules guy. I'm not someone who knows the rules fully. It did look like he was blocking the plate. I think with all the emphasis you've had on this recently, I do think it would have been the good call to make him safe. But again, I'm not really sure. I'm not exactly most in tune with that, and I'm not an umpire. So another interesting element of this was that the umpire who read the call from New York, the replay center, was caught on a hot mic saying to Mets manager Carlos Mendoza, who obviously went out to argue the call after the game was over, saying, I didn't make the ruling. I agree with you. Talk to New York and talk to the replay office about it, which is interesting. So it looks like the umpire would not have even made that call. So it's just a really fascinating situation there with all the rule changes that have happened in MLB, and it's affecting teams now. So it'd be interesting to watch if there's any correction on it in the future. But overall, who knows if the Mets would have still won. I'm more blaming the game on them scoring 0 runs than that. And I don't even know if I would have tagged if I was Pete. Pete's not the fastest guy in the world, as we know. That's putting it nicely. And it was a pretty close fly ball, so I'm not sure if I would even run. So there's a lot of other factors in this. So yeah, not really going to blame the umpires here. But is an interesting situation and could have gone either way, I think. The Mets had on the mound Jose Budo, who continued being really great. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2.57 ERA in the season. The Cubs had on the mound Shota Imanaga, who went 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts, a .78 ERA on the season now. Imanaga is leading the MLB in ERA, has been arguably the best pitcher in the entire MLB, and has surprised a lot of people, which is leading me into my 4th and final segment of the show today, which is going to be talking about Shota Imanaga and his tear going on. He's recently going on MLB. Just my analysis of him. Do I think he's going to continue with this, and do I think he's as good as he is right now? It's going to be interesting to talk about. I saw a start up close yesterday. It was very phenomenal. So yeah, we'll be going over the Shota Imanaga situation and just what's going on with him, how good he's been, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the GSMC Baseball Podcast. We'll be going over Shota Imanaga and his current reign over MLB. Let's just get straight into it. So Imanaga currently has the ERA crown for the MLB this year. Obviously does have the best ERA for the entire league, .78, pretty phenomenal. Was a guy who was signed over from Japan to be one of the Cubs' main starting pitchers. A guy who was expected to get a $100 million contract, instead got 2 years, around 40 to 60 million. There's a lot of accelerators in that contract, a lot of incentives as well. So it's kind of an interesting contract, and I'm not exactly sure how to explain it fully, but you can look it up if you would like and just talk about the contract. It was a really interesting one because, as I said, we expected him to get $100 million. He was supposed to be up there with Senga, a little bit more than him, at least get 75 like Senga did, and get all that. But instead, he got 75. He got less than that, pretty significantly as well. And what we heard about him was a lot of teams were concerned about him. They weren't as high as the public was, and that's why he did get this contract. And there were a lot of question mark teams had about him. One of the big things was home runs. He gave a lot of home runs in the MPB. And giving up a lot of home runs in the MPB probably means you're going to give a lot of home runs in the MLB, because the MLB, there's a lot of offense and there's a lot of home runs especially. So I think teams worried about that, worried about how his fastball would fare, his secondary pitches as well. So there were a lot of question marks about Imanaga. I personally wasn't a big fan of him. I did think he had a little too many for my liking. I think always pitchers coming over internationally and players coming over nationally in general is something that is a big question mark. You have to be very careful. I think guys like Senga, like Yamamoto, are kind of outliers with how good they are. I thought Imanaga was a little below that tier, and I thought he could have been okay, but I just wasn't as high in him, and I thought he had to go to the right organization. And so far, it's being proven that he probably did go to the right organization. So far with the Cubs, as I said, he has a 0.78 ERA. And the thing about that is, it's not just he has that and then his FIP and Sierra and xERA, expected ERA, are all high, which means, these stats are showing that he's gotten lucky and that this isn't really his real results, that he's, getting kind of lucky with his surroundings and the team and all that. No, the thing is, they're really good as well. He's pitched 34 innings this year, and what's happening, you look at the stats. His ERA minus is 19, which is incredible. FIP minus is 58. His FIP is 2.11. His barrel percentage is 5.4, which is incredible. His expected ERA is 2.73, so that's even great as well. His hard hit percentage is 41, which is a little high, but I think it's something he's able to control because of the pitches he throws. So you're looking at him now, you're saying, okay, well, he is his underlying stats show he's not getting lucky. Maybe he is a little bit, because I don't think anyone can sustain a .78 ERA, maybe except prime Jacob deGrom, prime Clayton Kershaw, the elites like that. But obviously, I don't think Imanaga is that. So you're looking at him. Well, why has he been so good? So I just wanted to talk about that and just why I think Imanaga has been so good, and just my general overall thoughts on him. So the first thing you look at with Imanaga is his fastball. His fastball is elite. There's no questions about that. His fastball is one of the best pitches in the league. He pitched it very interesting as well. It always is at the top of the zone most of the time, no matter who he's facing. So he gets a lot of swings and misses there. The problem is that if someone hits it, it probably goes a long way because it's in the air and it's up high. But not a lot of people hit it because his fastball is just that good and that elite. And it's not even that fast. It's pretty fast, but at the same time, velocity isn't the number one thing on a Imanaga fastball. It's more the movement and how he pitches, which leads me into my other one, which is his command. He has exceptional command. Incredible pinpoint accuracy, which is one of the things that when he was brought over from Japan, a lot of people mentioned, but I did not think it would be this good. It's been pretty incredible. The four seam, of course, I just talked about, he controls it really well, which makes him able to put it in these more revealing spots, maybe up in the zone, a little bit more bleeding over the plates. But because his command is so good, he can put it in exact pinpoint positions where another player couldn't, and they would either leave it hanging or make it a ball. So Imanaga knows how to control his pitches incredibly well, and I think that's really what's contributing to his success at the major league level. And you also have his splitter and sweeper. These were the main two concerns I think a lot of teams had about Imanaga. Of course, you had the home run things, but at the same time, the splitter and sweeper, these two pitches, the off speed, were also a concern for teams. They didn't know how they would fare in the MLB. They didn't know what the overall movement would be like. They didn't know how MLB hitters would react to them. So, but they've been pretty great. They haven't been as elite as the fastball. They haven't been a exact lockdown pitch, but they've been really good and really solid. So I think having a combination of this great command, this elite fastball, these other two quality pitches in the splitter and sweeper is a great thing. And you're also getting an organization that believes in you. The Cubs obviously believe in Imanaga. They have a great system around him. David Ross as well is another guy that sorry, not David Ross, I was thinking of the old manager, Craig Counsell, is another manager that is known for player development. He knows how to get through to players, knows how to get the best out of them. That's why the Cubs paid him all that money to be their new manager, which was very uncharacteristic to have a manager be paid like that. So I think the Cubs are surrounding him with all the correct people, all the correct surroundings, and just making sure he is fully utilized with his abilities, and that is what's happening. I think you're seeing now with Imanaga how good he's been, how elite of a pitcher he has been. So really good. Just he's been incredible, and it's been a surprise, yes, but I think you're seeing all these Japanese pitchers come over and how good they are. I mean, we saw Yamamoto. We're seeing Yamamoto. We saw Senga. I'm sure he'll be great once he gets back from injury. We're seeing Imanaga now. It's not stopping. You have probably the best of the bunch in Roki Sasaki next year, who is scary good. I mean, this guy's amazing. I've done a segment on Sasaki as well, if you would like to check that out on the channel. So I think that overall, Japanese pitchers are here to stay. They've been really good, and I think Imanaga is showing why they are so good. Him with his protégés like Yamamoto, like a Senga. So now the effect on the Cubs this is having is pretty great. I mean, right now the Cubs are one of the better teams of baseball. Their record has been pretty great. So, you look at the Cubs' record right now. You look at where they are in the division. So first off, for the division, the Cubs are in second place. They're 19-12, a half game back of the Brewers. They're currently the second seed of the wild card. So a lot is going right for them, and I think a lot of that has to do with Imanaga and how good he's been. The big thing is they lost Justin Steele, the Cubs did. They lost him, start of the season, and losing your ace like that in a freak accident in the first game of the season is pretty unfortunate and pretty crushing. I mean, the Cubs added a lot this offseason, maybe less people expected, but still quality pieces like Imanaga, like Hector Neris. You added back Cody Bellinger. So, there were expectations were high. The Cubs were finally saying, this is our year. We're finally going to compete again. And first game, you have Justin Steele in the opener against the World Series champion Rangers have a freak injury and be out for the first month. So when that happened, you had to look at guys and say, okay, you have to step up. And Imanaga stepped up definitely, but not only Imanaga did, other guys, other pitchers, like a Ben Brown, who pitched today against the Mets, who was phenomenal. We'll talk about his game. We'll talk about this game tomorrow. Mets are actually still playing. It is the bottom of the 11th, so we'll be seeing if anything notable happens there. But yeah, I mean, the pitcher stepped up for the Cubs, and Imanaga was at the forefront of that. So that's why they have been able to be second in this division with all the injuries they faced, be in the wild card, almost, be very close to taking the division away. So I'm watching them very closely. Once Steele does get back, that rotation is going to be scary. It's going to be scary. So I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see if Imanaga can continue this real tear he's going on, as I'm saying. as you're seeing the title as well on here. So I'm very interested, very excited to watch this Cubs team, and I think that Imanaga is only going to get better. Do I think he's going to stay at .78 ERA? No, I don't. But I think he's going to be in the be in the conversation for Cy Young, be probably the leader for Rookie of the Year right now, when we all thought it was going to go to Yamamoto, no contest. So I think that Imanaga has proven a lot of people wrong, been an elite starting pitcher, and is showing people, you know what, this is what a new age Japanese pitcher looks like. This is how good we are. This is, this is who we are. We're not going anywhere, and we're taking MLB by storm. So props to Imanaga for being so good. Props to the Cubs for developing him, believing in him, and doing so great here. So excited about Imanaga, excited about how the Cubs are doing with him. So that's it. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. That was our show today. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to not only get notified when I upload, but when all the other great content creators on this channel upload. Remember to follow. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you baseball throws at us tomorrow. Bye, guys, and thanks.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn.